Don't miss anything. Okay, so I'm going to be your host tonight. My name is Nicole Scott. I am a holistic nutritionist and a healthy lifestyle expert. And Angela will do a little intro to me a little bit later, but I'm just so grateful that we get to put on this amazing event tonight. It's just really having a candid conversation about cancer. Angela Ramos, who is going to be our key featured speaker. She is a loving wife. She is a mom to two teenagers. She lives in Ottawa, and she lost two grandparents and her sister-in-law to cancer. And so she decided to go back to school and become not only a holistic nutritionist, but a cancer practitioner. And she's so passionate about making a difference in her community by teaching others the importance, that nutrition makes in our body. We're just so excited that Angela is starting to do these talks on a monthly basis. I believe this is your third or even fourth talk, and this is going to happen every month with a special guest speaker that is either connected to cancer or a health professional. And last month was just so inspiring with a cancer, I'm going to say survivor, and going through it and thriving through it in regards to her markers. So we're so excited that Angela's going to dive in tonight. So thank you, Angela, for being here and sharing your heart and passion.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And thank you everyone for choosing to be here. So I'm going to just start by asking a question. Do you ever feel that there's a lot of conflicting information about nutrition and prevention, what to eat or not to eat? Unfortunately, some people are left with the impression that nutrition doesn't matter, which is simply untrue. So what you will learn tonight, you'll hear my health transformation story as well as Nicole's. Your DNA is not your destiny, how to bridge your nutritional gap, and healing with alkalizing food. So I'm going to start with a little bit of doom and gloom and what the future looks like, why we are unhealthy. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. Why I do what I do is because in the 1940s, 1 in 17 people would develop cancer. And now it's 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and 1 in 5 children is obese. Dr. David Katz, a pediatrician, shared our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. So why is it? Well, a lot of it has to do with toxins, the future of our environment. We have environmental toxins and they're increasing daily. There's pollution, water contaminants, pesticides, prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, chemicals, skincare products, hair care products, and plastics. The future of our food. We have food quality is decreasing. More than 50% of what North Americans are eating is processed, full of preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, growth hormones, GMOs. There's less nutrition. Pesticides, trans fats, artificial colors. Broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of key nutrients before you even purchase it. I always like to share here that, the Department of Agriculture has a study that in 1950, a serving of broccoli had 142 milligrams of calcium. Today, that same serving has about 38 milligrams of calcium. So there's some simple changes that we can do, what we can do to be healthier. 1, exercise, movement. We want to be spending an hour a day, whether it's 30 minutes and 30 minutes, but spending time where we are doing something, moving our body, going for a walk, swimming, whatever it is that you love doing, just making it a priority for you to be able to do it. We want to make sure that we're sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night. And, things like shutting off technology an hour before going to bed, shutting down your Wi-Fi while you're sleeping, using blackout blinds, things like this, that whatever it takes to help you to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Managing stress. Right now, the whole world is really stressed out. So some ways to manage that stress: keep a positive attitude and be gentle with yourself. Keep your sense of humor, go for walks in nature, listen to music, read, set aside some leisure time, do something you enjoy every day. And it could be as simple as a long, relaxing bath. Meditate or pray, share your feelings and reduce chaos to create balance and practice gratitude. Drink water. We want to, it varies from individual to individual, but if we can have a goal of drinking 2 liters of water a day and filtered water, that's going to add health for sure. And one of the things that I like to do is I'll drink 1 liter out of my glass mason jar, and I like to put half a lemon in it. And then when I have my second mason jar with 1 liter in it, I'll do like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Use safer products. So it's really important that whatever we're using in our home, that we try and find some more natural choices. Simple vinegar or baking soda, different things without all the toxins that are in a lot of the cleaners that are out there. And even when we think about our skin, things that we're using, makeup, creams, any of that kind of stuff, make choices with less toxins, the parabens, the SLSs, things like that that are just known to be carcinogenic. And one of my favorite things is eat real food. So if the sun needs it to grow, it's good for you. Eat lots of real food. Whole food. Avoiding cancer death. Did you know that according to the National Cancer Institute, its estimates of cancer deaths avoidable through nutritional changes run as high as 75%? Prostate cancer, 75%, breast cancer, 70%, pancreatic cancer, 70%, uterine cancer, 50%, and gallbladder cancer, 50%. The surprising facts. So Dr. Susan Silverstein is a naturopathic doctor, and something she said that I think is I just love it. The information and the value is cancer patients rarely die of their tumors. They die of malnutrition, toxemia, and or opportunistic infections. Good nutrition can help address all of these. What stands between us and cancer? The liver. Up to 90% of all cancers are due to carcinogens and nutrient deficiencies. We are all exposed to the same toxins. The liver is one of the most important organs in your body. It performs more than 300 functions and also helps some of the other organs to do their jobs. The liver's main job is to filter the blood coming from the digestive tract before passing it to the rest of the body. The liver also detoxifies chemicals, and as it does so, the liver secretes bile that ends up back in the intestines. So risk factors for our liver: junk food, unhealthy altered fats, high sugar, alcohol, coffee, smoking, fuel exhaust, petroleum products, birth control pills, candida, pesticides, drug use, anabolic steroids, prescription medications, over-the-counter medications, and even our emotions like anger. What increases our risk of cancer? Well, you can see a list there. Cancer is the result of an unhealthy cell unrecognized by the immune system that grows uncontrolled. Cancer grows in an environment that is conducive to cancer growth and thrives on a low oxygen, acidic environment. Cancer also thrives when our immune system is weak, our body is toxic, and our nutrition is of poor quality. Free radicals are also linked to cancer. What causes free radicals? So you can see in the image all the things. Cancer is an example of disease caused by free radical damage to our DNA. Inflammation, for example, in the body can be hard to detect, yet it slowly attacks the healthy tissues in the brain, arteries, and joints, leading to many different diseases as well. Some studies have shown that cancer cells thrive in a highly acidic environment. The pH of the body is tightly regulated, but what happens when you eat more whole foods like fruits and vegetables, and we reduce or remove sugar, alcohol, meat, and processed food, is that all of these lifestyle changes will reduce inflammation in our body that causes the DNA damage and leads to cancer. Eating whole foods that reduce inflammation can reduce cancer risk, as well as almost 80% of other diseases. What is oxidative stress? Oxidative stress and antioxidants. So we've all cut that apple in half and we've seen it start to brown, right? So oxidative stress reflects an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants in your body. And here are a few signs to look out for: fatigue, brain fog, muscle and joint pain, headaches, susceptibility to infections. The bad news is that oxidative stress causes aging and disease. The good news is that antioxidants in fruits and vegetables protect the cells from oxidative stress. What is the difference between acidic and alkaline food? Our bodies are resilient with the ability to self-correct in the event of an imbalanced pH level through a mechanism called the buffer system. In chemistry, a buffer is a substance that neutralizes acids, keeps the pH of a solution relatively constant despite the addition of considerable amounts of acids or bases. However, due to a person's choice of poor diet, of junk food, fast foods, processed foods, and sodas, most of us are putting our bodies through the ringer in order to maintain the proper pH in our blood. Although our bodies typically maintain alkaline reserves, which are utilized to buffer acids in these types of situations, it's safe to say that many of us have depleted the reserves and the excess acids are dumped into tissues. It's clear that with poor diet, lifestyle, and poor mental attitude, this results in toxic buildup, which overloads the self-cleaning mechanism. Possible cancer symptoms that we are all likely to ignore. So I'm going to list off a whole bunch of them for you. Changes in the size, color, or shape of a wart or mole, pelvic or abdominal pain, a sore that doesn't heal, becomes crusty or bleeds easily, rectal bleeding or blood in the stool, persistent cough, hoarseness, sore throat, or chest pain, unexplained weight loss, a lump or thickening in the breast or elsewhere, nipple changes, swelling of facial features, unusual bleeding or discharge, changes in nails, chronic indigestion or difficulty in swallowing, pain in the back or lower right side, any change in bowel or bladder habits, weakness and fatigue, wheezing or shortness of breath, bloating or abdominal weight gain, frequent fevers or infections, swollen lymph nodes or lumps on the neck, underarm, or groin. So here are two other quotes that I think are really important to share. Plants are powerful. So Dr. James Duke said, somewhere in the plant kingdom, there's a remedy for everything. Dr. Patrick Quillen, proper nutrition can prevent 50 to 90% of all cancers. What is whole food and why should we eat it? Whole foods are generally those that remain close to their state in nature. They do not have added sugars, starches, flavorings, or other manufactured ingredients. Why whole food? It's as nature intended: nourishing, blood sugar balancing. Low consumption is linked to many diseases, strengthens your immune system. Low consumption is linked to increased risks of cancer. Whole foods protect us by providing enormous amounts of nutrition, strengthens our immune system, alkalizes the body by eating 7 to 13 servings of fruit and vegetables daily. There's a natural anti-inflammatory action, helps the body detoxify, and lastly, antioxidants prevent free radical-induced tissue damage by preventing the formation of radicals or by promoting their decomposition. How much do we need to eat? We need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Athletes need even more. Why so many? Produce is picked before nutrition fully develops. It's transported thousands of miles. 90% of North Americans don't eat enough servings, and we definitely don't eat enough variety from the rainbow. So let's talk phytonutrients. A lifestyle that includes plenty of fruits, vegetables, and fiber is associated with a significantly lower than average risk of some types of cancer, including colon and breast cancer. Eating the rainbow every day provides the most protection. Some of the best phytonutrient-rich foods are all berries. Blueberries are the highest source, broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables, citrus fruits, dark green leafy vegetables, flax seeds, garlic, melons, pink grapefruit, non-GMO water wash soy, sweet potatoes, and a high quality organic green tea. Let's talk about fiber. Fiber can help keep the colon and bowels healthy by stripping them of harmful bacteria. Some of the best high fiber foods are lentils, black beans, kidney beans, lima beans, kidney beans, and chickpeas, gluten-free oatmeal, pears with skin, apples with skin, Brussels sprouts, and peaches with skin. Apples, for instance, can bind up to 20 times their own weight in bowel toxins. And that's where the saying goes, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So why probiotics and why vitamin D? Probiotics are a health-promoting bacteria that when introduced into the intestinal tract, replenish the good bacteria and help the body to digest and absorb food, as well as fight off many different illnesses and disease. It enhances mineral absorption, strengthens the immune system, and protects the intestinal wall. Probiotics help reduce the amount of toxic chemicals in the body, for example, bacteria and fungi that produce their own toxins. Probiotics result in an abundance of healthy flora in the digestive tract that enhance the breakdown of food, which also results in a more alkaline environment. Vitamin D reduces inflammation, supports the immune system, and can help control infections and reduce cancer cell growth. So, how does being a certified holistic cancer practitioner change my outlook on healing and prevention? For decades, we've been focusing on the disease that affects the person rather than looking at the person the disease affects and why one person gets disease and the other doesn't. The term holistic means focusing on the person. As a practitioner, having whole food supplements to recommend to have a better quality of life is like having manna from heaven. Supplements are not a substitute for healthy eating, and you can't eat junk, take a few pills, and expect to be well. But I do see whole food supplements as a nutritional support to a whole food plant-based lifestyle. So the story behind powdered fruits and vegetables. Dr. Humbert Santillo, naturopathic doctor, spent several years perfecting the process by which he took vats of expressed raw juices and flash dried them into powders that could then be encapsulated without compromising nutritional quality. He was led to developing this whole food product from the life-changing trauma of his father being diagnosed with lymphoma. As a naturopath, he was determined to give his father a better quality of life. And his full story is amazing. So I encourage you to reach out to the person that invited you here today to hear more about his story. I'm going to take a few minutes and just share my personal story. 5 years ago, I was in a car accident and it caused damage in my neck and my lower back. And I spent a year doing all the modalities, physio, osteo, chiro, massage, acupuncture, you name it, I did it all. I was also doing anti-inflammatories and painkillers. And during this time, I had 2 young kids, and my young kids, even though they were extremely healthy eaters, they would catch every little cold that would turn into strep throat or ear infections. And one day a nutritionist had posted on a mom's group, "Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired?" And I was. So I decided to give these plant powders a try. What I wasn't anticipating was that I was going to be able to get rid of the anti-inflammatory medication and the painkillers. And my kids haven't needed any antibiotics for strep throat or ear infections or even winter inhalers. And we are now at the end of November, we're going to be 5 years strong with these plant powders. During this time, I was also doing follow-up mammograms. And it was a really stressful time. And about a year ago, they ended up placing a type of chip in one of my breasts, and they want to monitor it and send me for more mammograms. And one doctor didn't agree with another doctor, and there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. So that was part of my journey of self-educating. So I decided to talk to a naturopath, and I went for a breast MRI, and I went to Kingston for that. And when I was on the table, and so they do the MRI and everything, and then afterwards I did an ultrasound. And when she was doing the ultrasound, she asked me how long I've had cancer for. And my heart dropped because I don't have cancer. And the fact that she asked me that was disheartening, to say the least. So I said that to her, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Angela. Here in Kingston, which is only 2 hours away from Ottawa," she's like, "whenever we place the chip, the microchip, it's for cancer patients." So she's like, "I guess in Ottawa, you guys do it differently." So I'm actually going again for another MRI on Monday of next week. And I share this story with you because I want you to understand how important it is for you to ask questions, to self-advocate, and I encourage you to talk to more than one person when if you are faced with something like this. So it is my pleasure to introduce you to one of my beautiful friends and mentor, and her name is Nicole Scott. She's a registered holistic nutritionist, healthy lifestyle expert, network marketing professional, and author. She started the Gorgeous Gray movement in 2018 after she had a health scare that woke her up, and she decided to ditch the dye and write a book, Get Naked with Your Natural Hair Color. And she's going to share her journey with you about that. And her mission is to inspire women to love their body and to own their sparkle. So welcome, Nicole.
There we go. I'm on. There we go. Thank you so much, Angela. I'm going to share my story in a little bit, everyone, but it's just awesome. It's great information. I've been, teaching this stuff for 15 years, and it just feels so like, you live and breathe it every day. So for a lot of you on here, this might be the first time that this stuff is starting to sink in of how important this information is. And what I've learned in my journey is sometimes it's the little things that matter the most that we forget about. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit. When we talk about the little things, it's even the simple things about what are we supplementing with? What are we putting in our body to bridge the gap? And I was lucky enough that 15 years ago that my mom introduced me to the concept of plant powders put together by Juice Plus, the Juice Plus company. And I'm going to be honest, in the beginning, I was a little skeptical. I didn't think I needed something like this. I was already eating 10 to 15 servings of fruits and veg. I thought I was doing a pretty good job. But behind the scenes, I did have a child that had over 75 food allergies and sensitivities. She was my reason why I left a corporate career in the food industry and went back to school to become a nutritionist because I wanted to help heal her little body. And I would say probably 4 or 5 months of telling my mom, no, I don't need something like this, but she never gave up on me. And I'm so grateful that she never gave up on me. You will meet people like me that will be a little bit, I'm too cool. I think I know everything. And that was me. And then finally, she just called me at the one day where I had another 2 weeks of sickness in the house. Very similar story to Angela, where my kids used to catch everything and it was just on rotation. It was if one kid was healthy, the other one was sick, and it was vice versa. And if you've ever been in that cycle before as a mom and with young kids, it's exhausting and you get to the place of desperation. And she called me at a place of desperation. So I decided to take these Juice Plus capsules and put them in our body, the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old, and myself. But of course, me, the skeptic, what do I have to do? Have to call my best friend and say, can you do my blood work first? Because I want to prove my mom wrong. I don't think this is going to do anything in my body. 4 months later, we go back, my best friend Anita looks in my eyes and she goes, "Oh my gosh, Nicole, this stuff is actually doing something at, your cellular level. Your blood work is looking amazing. Your red blood cells are bright and happy and they're not sticking together. How do you feel?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, I think I have my mojo back. I'm getting back into running. I feel like a new human. I'm staying up later. I'm doing things that I love." And I never thought that something as simple as this could make such a profound impact on my health, but it did. And it kind of like the light bulb went off for me to say, are we really that deficient as human beings? And obviously we were, because I thought I was doing such a bang up job. But it was when my daughter got retested for all of her allergies, because we had regular checkups, her allergies had come down in half. And in a year, with a healthy lifestyle and other different supplements, including the addition of Juice Plus, we were able to become an allergy-free family. So it was a great experience for us. And, we haven't looked back. So what is Juice Plus? It's simple. It's fruits, veg, and berries, over 30 of them. And then add another 5 with our omegas, so 35. And really, it's just whole food. And it's harvested at the peak of ripeness. You're getting the highest level of nutrition possible. And think of, if you've ever juiced before, it kind of goes beyond juicing, because we actually pulverize all of the plants, including the skin and the seeds. It gets dried, cold dried, so we're protecting the nutrition. It gets put in a capsule or a chewable for kids. And then we have this beautiful plant-based omega that came into the marketplace a couple years ago. And we go right to the source, which is the algae. So as I like to say, we skip the middleman, we skip the fish, and we just bring a beautiful omega to you. So that's what Juice Plus is, real simple. And what I think that makes Juice Plus so unique is that it's not a multivitamin. I know that I was brought up on multivitamins. I could probably hum the song. You know what multivitamin I was on, right? And it was colorful and it was yummy and it tastes like a candy. You can maybe even guess in the chat. I bet you most of you guys were on the same multi as I was. So what I love about this is, I like to say, multis are out and whole food is in. I haven't been and recommended a multivitamin, and I would say about, gosh, 14, 15 years. So it's food in a capsule, food in a chew. It's made with non-GMO ingredients. How exciting is that, right? We use as much organic produce as we can get our hands on. It's vegan, it's kosher, it's dairy and gluten-free, it's NSF certified by a third party, meaning the purity of what we say is in it is in it. They also test to make sure that we don't have any contaminants, no pesticides, no herbicides. That was a lot of stuff that my daughter was allergic to. So right away, we'd have known if she would have reacted to this product, which she did not, that there would have been chemicals on it, because she just couldn't handle any of that stuff. She had such a compromised immune system. And the best part is, it's the most researched whole food supplement in the world. We now have over 40 published research papers that medical centers and universities around the world have researched, which is pretty awesome. So the easy button, just real simple. When I had my clinic, I would say the first year I had about 100 families on Juice Plus. And it was really cool to start to see the positive changes. And this was their message. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that it could be this easy, that I could just start to bridge the gap this easy. And I was like, I know, I never thought so either. So there you have the beautiful fruit blend, the vegetable blend, the berry blend, and then of course, this beautiful omega blend. And I always joke with my clients when they're just like, well, I eat a lot of fruits and veg. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's go into a journal and let's actually see what your rainbow looks like. And their rainbow looks pretty blah. And I challenge you, even, today or tonight, to think about in the last 24 hours, what has your level of variety look like? Have you gotten the rainbow? Have you gotten all of the colors? And for most people, that is very challenging, depending on where you live in Canada or the world. And let's face it, we tend to stick to the same fruits and vegetables almost every week. And you can put your hand up if you would agree with me that it's the same bananas and it's the same apples and it's the same oranges. And then when it comes to your same lettuces and your tomatoes and your cucumbers, and we get stuck in this rut. And this is where Juice Plus will really come in and help bridge the gap with that variety of nutrition and antioxidants and phytonutrients that Angela was talking about. So one thing that I'm really, really passionate about working with clients is giving clients a program. So Juice Plus is a great start in regards to the easy button, but for a lot of people, people need more than just a pill, a capsule, food in a capsule. And so this is where I challenge people to say, give me 30 days, give me 60 days, give me 4 months to really start to reinvent your body, your gut, your brain. And this is the protocol that we have been using for years. It really, truly is an anti-inflammatory diet that will benefit everybody, including somebody that is going through cancer or prevention in mind. So we're going to add a ton of plants. And Angela already went through all the reasons of why we want to eat a ton of plants, right? We're going to add the Juice Plus capsules daily to bridge the gap and to feed the good guys in the gut. We're going to have 1 to 2 complete shakes. Those are our plant-based, yummy, delicious plant-based shakes that you will also consume to replace at least 1 meal a day, maybe 2, depending. If you are and you do have cancer, oftentimes you do lose your appetite and it's really hard to eat that much. So that's where our shakes really come in to help you go through that difficult time. You want to be making sure that you're drinking a lot of water in glass or steel, not in plastic. You want to make sure that you're breathing deep belly breath. And, Angela talked about the emotion to cancer, right? The anger. The book that I have here is on breast cancer that I was reading earlier today. And it's not about even what you're eating, but what's eating you, right? So getting quiet, getting still, finding out what's bothering you at a very deep emotional level is very important to you. For you, the sleep and then movement. And then here's the big stuff that starts to get really scary for people. Remember when I talked about that sometimes the little things matter, and this is where we're going to talk about stuff that's really scary. We want to reduce or eliminate caffeine and alcohol. Oh my gosh, right? Okay, why alcohol? Okay. I'm going to read you something about alcohol. So I have made a pact to get rid of alcohol for an entire year. I stopped drinking August 15th to do it for my health. And I'm going to read you this about alcohol. According to the U.S. National Cancer Institute, alcohol elevates serum estrogen levels in both pre and post-menopausal women. So this study that they did, it showed that women who averaged 1 drink per day, and somebody in your life that drinks 1 per day, okay, they were 39% more likely to develop breast cancer than those who did not drink. This was a study of 16,000 women, okay? So I could go on and on. That's in my book that I wrote, which Angela mentioned. I talk about this stuff. I deep dive into this stuff so that we can get really real. And that's why I say get naked. The whole thing about get naked is getting real with ourselves. If you got cancer or you want to prevent cancer, we have to get naked with ourselves on all of these habits and have that naked conversation to say, why am I? And could I eliminate or reduce? We want to eat after, stop eating after 6 o'clock so we can give our digestive system a rest, a break. Maybe it's 7 o'clock for you, but it's on average about 3 hours. Stop eating before you go to bed. Get rid of that processed food and eliminate those big inflammatory foods of gluten, dairy, artificial, and refined sugar. Great program. It's called the Shred Program. You definitely want to follow up with someone that invited you here tonight to have that conversation. Our next one is starting on November 2nd, where we love hard on you and support you in a community. So I just want to make sure that you guys are clear that Juice Plus is filling in the gap, but we are not about treating or curing specific conditions or diseases. We're just plant-based nutrition. We're highly concentrated, powerful punch, and we've got the research to back it up. And every story might be a little bit different. It's a personal story. Angela and I do have very similar stories, and that's cool, but every story is a little bit different. And yeah, we are all about the research, and especially being a health professional, I wanted to make sure that this was, well researched and documented and been around for a very long time. So we even have University of Toronto on here. I believe we even have Florida, lots of backup, and it goes right from randomized, placebo, double blinded, right to the peer reviewed, very, very ethical research that goes on. And all of this research is on our website. If you are into research and that really is important to you, we can definitely make sure that you get that information to read over each of the journals. And in regards to, health professionals, that was one thing I was so impressed with. I remember going to my first event, and there was a PhD researcher, Dr. Mitra Ray, who was speaking about her cancer research and how she left a career to really focus on something as simple as Juice Plus. And I was blown away. Mom, you probably remember Dr. Neiman. That was my first big event when we were out in Banff. And Dr. Peter Neiman was recommending Juice Plus to his little patients because he's a pediatrician. And Dr. Peter Neiman opened up the first 2 obesity clinics in Alberta. And I was so excited to talk to him. And he had no problem having that conversation with me and telling me about, what this product has done for his patients. And it just gave me like just goosebumps to know that incredible health professionals that put their name and reputation behind, because they get to see it. That's what happened to me, right? I shared it for a year. I got to see the results and I could not share it. And that's why we're here today. And, there's just a quick summary of some of the stuff that Juice Plus has been clinically proven to do. And of course, supports the immune system. That's a big one. And that's pretty important for us today. And then you see up top, healthy lung function. We all want healthy lung function, right? And reduces oxidative stress. So there's lots of stuff that it does in the body. And then, of course, this beautiful tower garden came along into my world 8 years. It's my 3rd baby. I've got 2. This was my 3rd. It's like giving birth. It's like when you start to plant these beautiful seedlings, you get to grow your own vegetables all year round. It's hydroponic and aeroponic technology. And I came from a soil garden background and lived on 3 acres. So it's a huge transition to go here, but I haven't looked back. I love it because right now I have a tower garden growing in my basement. Tonight, I came downstairs, I cut up a big bowl of fresh greens, which we typically do every day, put it in our smoothies, have it for a salad for lunch or dinner. And these have been around, like I said, for 8 years in North America. You can do the Tower Garden Home, which is a smaller version, and the Tower Garden Flex is a little bit bigger version. And you can use grow lights right now here in Canada, where you can bring them in and grow all winter long. It uses 98% less water, 90% less space. So such an environmental impact. It yields 30% more. It grows 3 times faster than soil. Ooh, I like that. And it's just as safe and nutritious as soil. And this was proven at the University of Mississippi. So I want to just say that treating the cause, not just the symptoms. Surgery, chemotherapy, radiation can reduce or remove symptoms, often only temporarily. But unless the biological function is fully repaired, unless the immune system is optimized, unless the body chemistry is restored into balance, unless the actual causes of the cancer are addressed and eliminated, there is risk of reoccurrence. And that's really important. And I can, testify to some of our family members that that's happened. It went away and it came back with a vengeance because it never got to root cause. So why Juice Plus? So I've shared a little bit about my story, and in regards to my scare with cancer is a couple years ago. I had these unusual lumps in my breast. I went to my naturopath, and she was feeling around, and she can't say, "Oh, I think you have cancer, Nicole." She legally can't say that, but what she did do is she was smart enough to give me, I'm going to say, a fake breast that they use in school, and they have little nodulars underneath. It's like a gel. And she made me feel each one, and she said, this is a benign, this is a tumor, And so I want you to feel this one, and then I want you to feel your own breast tissue, and I want you to tell me what you feel. And in that moment when I felt the tumor, the breast cancer, it felt exactly the same as my breast tissue, and I started to have tears coming down my eye. She couldn't say anything, but it was like her way of saying, Nicole, I advise you to absolutely immediately get checked out by your medical doctor. So that night I did go to the walk-in. There was a female doctor. She got me in about a week later, and we got scanned, and I had to wait for the results for a week. Is there anybody on here that's had to wait for results for a week? It's freaking scary. And all of these thoughts start going through your head. And in that week, I went back to my books as a nutritionist, as a student, and I just dived in. I was like researching. And that's where I discovered, I was like, this was my question that I asked myself. Nicole, you're a holistic nutritionist. Where in your lifestyle are you ignoring some things that might be creating imbalances in your body? And here were some of the things that I had to really get naked with. Are you ready for this? Hair dye. Hair dye causes cancer. There are ingredients in hair dye that causes cancer. I was putting that on my head, which gets absorbed by my body every 3 weeks to look what I thought is prettier, and the whole vanity story, blah, 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 right? You get it? And I say that because I was so attached to my hair and what was, worried about, I had to change my stinking thinking. I was like, do you want pretty hair or do you want healthy breasts? So that's what I mean about getting naked and having those brave conversations with yourself. So that was the first thing that went. Second thing, reducing alcohol to the point where I was like, I'm ready to stop. I can't do this to myself anymore. Got rid of the alcohol, got rid of the plastics in the kitchen, got rid of the toxic beauty products that I was still carrying, because oh my gosh, somebody gave it to me as a gift and it was $100. Who cares? Throw it in the garbage, Nicole. It's not worth it. Your health is more important to yourself. So I just went down the rabbit hole, and maybe I wasn't going to go down that path in regards to one day I might get it, but I didn't want to take the chance. It's like playing Russian roulette. I did get my DNA done. I got it read by one of the top geneticists in the world, Dr. Monsieur out of Toronto. He assured me that there is no heredity in cancer within my DNA, but that doesn't mean that I can't get cancer because lifestyle pulls the trigger. So ball is in your court, Nicole. And I did have DNA markers that scared me enough that I have to make my health a priority every single day when it comes to detoxification, because I have a weakness. I do not detox well. And so hence why the infrared sauna is so important. If you do have cancer, maybe to invest in an infrared sauna, a huge, plus to sweat, again, to detox, getting your DNA done, to find out if you're a great detoxer or not. If you're a woman on here, to find out, are you recycling your estrogen, which is the most dangerous pathway. So there's lots of stuff that we can be doing beyond just taking like Juice Plus, as Angela said, getting your fiber in, getting your fruits and vegetables in, getting your green tea in. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but that is my story. The good news is the results came back. And they just were, they were benign tumors. They were benign. And so these lifestyle changes that I've done in the last 2 years, my breasts are normal. They are healthy. There are no lumps in them anymore. And I just actually was at the naturopath last week, and I'm back down to optimal wellness in my reports. So I was in the middle of like inflammatory and I wasn't going on a good track. So I'm back to optimal. And she's like, I am so proud of you, Nicole. I am so happy for you that these healthy lifestyle changes that you had to get naked with are working and you are on the right track. So I'm 49, just about 50, and I'm heading into this like weird stage of life of like, is my period coming? Isn't it? You know what I'm talking about, girls and men, just close your ears. You don't want to hear this, but I have no symptoms. So she's like, you don't have any hot flashes? I'm like, nope. She's like, you don't have any sleeping problems? I'm like, nope. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, this can be a normal, healthy experience if we treat our bodies well. So is there any more slides? A few slides left. Okay. So, but here's the thing. I really encourage you to discuss your health with a professional. Okay. This is a great presentation. This is going to give you a lot of insights. This is going to give you some tools to start right away on your healthy lifestyle. But depending on where you are in your journey, you want to have a professional take a look at your blood, do a deep dive, hold your hand, and have a couple of opinions. Angela, you heard Angela, 2 different doctors, 2 different opinions. I went to 3 naturopaths, 2 of them had the same opinion, 1 had a different opinion. Guess what I went with? Do you see what I mean? So, and making sure that you are really focused on a heavy plant-based diet, reducing the meat, reducing the alcohol or even eliminating it, and really own your numbers. Own your numbers. Is your vitamin D low? Up your vitamin D. Get it retested in 6 months. Own your numbers. You are responsible for your numbers. Do not let a medical doctor tell you that you feel okay or your numbers are okay when you're feeling like crap. Get a second opinion. So references, becancer.org, Facts on Toxicity, the EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group. That's a great app if you want to start to really deep dive in toxic products and food. HealthyLivingRevolution.com, and lots of books. You can screenshot that and start to dig in a little bit deeper. And is that our last? Oh, yes. And so if you really enjoyed this event, just so you know that our Juice Plus community, we continually educate. That is what we are passionate about. We want you guys to take your health to the next level. And how do we do that? We educate you and empower you. So this Thursday, one of our famous holistic nutritionists from the Aurora area, she's a master Nordic pole walker instructor. She has been an athlete most of her life. She's a mom of 4. She has a full-time practice, very well known in our community. She is a smart, funny, well-educated nutritionist, and she is going to be really diving into how we can support our immune health. And I can't think of a better topic as we head into our second wave of COVID around the world. So that is to Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Take a picture of it. Again, what we'd like you to do is follow up with the person that invited you here tonight. So if any of this resonates with you, if you have any questions, or if you feel like you would like to add the easy button, they can help you put an order in. Angela, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, audience. We had 48 people on. That's awesome. We thank you for your time. I think we're going to stop recording, and we can definitely open it up now for any Q&A.
Nicole, thank you. And everybody, if you haven't gotten this book yet, get the book. Go to nicolescott.ca to get it. My daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, and I just finished reading it. And well, actually, she read it first and then I read it. And it was such a powerful tool that she at 13 was able to learn so much from that book and hear it from somebody else besides her mama.
Thank you, Ange.